Before I even get started with this story, I have to give a shout out to Mr. Superboy, who does have a new channel because unfortunately YouTube got to him again. And I think it's no coincidence that they ended up getting to his new channel. The what a more recent one, the Mr. Superboy 222 channel, after he reached like 10,000 subscribers in a very short amount of time. But he has a new channel called Your World. I will leave the link to his channel down in the description. I was on my break today at work when I came across a video that he did about this individual right here by the name of Brandon LaCroix. And let me tell you something right now. This entire story, while not surprising, it blew me away, and not in a good way, but it showed the state and the mindset of white people, no matter what the age or the generation they were born and raised in this establishment in this day and age. First off, the only thing that shocked me about the video that he did was his age. This man is 25 years old. Mind you, I am 29 years old. I just turned 29, and I can honestly, loudly, and proudly say that I do not look my age. When Harvey said that this man was 25 years old, I had to pause the video and like really register what he just said. I said 25. I said this guy looks older than my dad. And my dad is 30 years older than me. You do the math. Now that we've gotten that out of the way. This guy, Brandon LaCroix from South Carolina, decided it would be a good idea to hire a hitman to take out his black neighbor. But not just any hitman, a white supremacist white man. Why did he want to hire a hitman? Because of property. I don't know if it was because the black neighbor had more property than him, or because the black neighbor's property looked better than his. I'm not sure, but it had something to do with property. Like Mr. Superboy said in his video, he said, if it was that bad for you, why didn't you just move? Like, that is the most dumbest shit I have ever heard for wanting to kill someone. They said that and it went into more detail because it said he wanted this man to be hung from a tree and have a cross burning in his yard while he was hanging in said tree. This guy was trying to bring back Jim Crow of the 1950s. I'm so glad that they caught this guy before his plan actually went forward, because I think he ended up he was talking to a decoy, to an undercover agent, if I'm not mistaken, while he was carrying out his plan, and that's how he got caught. This guy is 25 years old and does not look it, and I mean he looks older, and had that much hatred in his heart. I would like to know how old the black neighbor is. Was he older, younger, or around the same age? See, this is the thing. You have white people like him who are threatened by the success of other black people. Now, I can only assume that he probably lives in a certain type of neighborhood where he would have to be envious and jealous of this white guy, because I couldn't see the black guy living in some kind of trailer park or something like that. Although this guy looks like he came from a trailer park. I mean, if you just look at him, my goodness, he looks terrible. Like, he looked like he just crawled out of the cave today and made his first emergence to the world for the first time in probably the last decade. This is the first time he came up for air. But he had that much hatred in his heart that he was willing to hire a hitman to kill this black man because of property. Like, it's not that serious, it's not that deep, but to him, it is. See, the current commander-in-chief that we have right now, and it pains me to even call him that, have emboldened them to astronomical heights, but it's also exposed how weak they are as well. So in some regard, that is a good thing because, well, for the most part, many of us already knew they were weak to begin with, but 45 exposed them even more for the true inferior nature that they truly have, and not one of a superior nature. I said for a group of people that are so-called so superior, they act more and more meek, mild, and inferior as the days go on. I have heard so many stories in the last week involving the colonizer of all ages and genders in exposing how weak they are. I can't even keep up. It's crazy. But when you listen to my podcast, which of course will be uploaded on Sunday, I'm going to try to tackle each and every last one of them. And I'm going to touch again on this story right here. Like, it is absolutely ridiculous. You know, for a group of people that's supposed to be so superior, they shouldn't be thinking about the people that are quote unquote less than them. But they think about us all the time, and they hope that we think about them, but that's definitely not the case. We don't think about you like that. We think about how we can get through the day without having to deal with you, and that's about as far as it goes. At least the ones who are of sane mind. Many of us don't even want to be around you, to be quite honest. We just want to be left alone to our own vices and do our own thing. But even then, you can't do that because they'll find a way to interject. They'll find a way to flip it into a narrative that they are being excluded. I wouldn't be surprised if they create some kind of law called the inclusion law, which makes it mandatory that they have to be included into everything we do. Now, that doesn't sound so far-fetched because they just created a Protect and Serve Act that says that if you harass or you mess with the police or attempt to do something, that they'll give you 10 years in prison. We know they created that law for us. And notice they did it under the radar because nobody knew about it because it wasn't on the news. I talked to my coworkers about it and they were blown away by it. They didn't believe me. They had to look it up. I said, there's a reason why they didn't put it on the news. They wanted you to not know about it, because they knew you would not research it. But thanks to social media, that's why I say social media can be a powerful thing if you use it for the right things, because that's how I found out about this Protect and Serve Act. It was from social media. I damn sure didn't find about it on CNN or MSNBC. Hell, I didn't even find out about it on my local news. I remember I did a story about something that was supposed to be happening locally involving the police. I found that out on the internet as well. I didn't find that out on the local news, a place where it was supposed to go. See, they slip things under the radar so it can blindside us later. And they do that on purpose because they know many of us aren't going to look into anything, or most things for that matter. But that's all I really have to say about this story right here. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next one.